All right, we've been doing all the rookie QBs. They got extended playing time, so let's dive into a little Drake Maye. Got a little extended playing time. Maybe the starter with the Jacoby Brissett injury, but let's take a look at what we saw. As with all of these guys, we've seen some good things from each and every one of them. All right, so here we've got a play that I just call out, which is basically outs across the board. So an out and a stick. An out and a stick right here. So we're going to read this outside in. We've got the corner off. Okay, so the corner off, really reading these outside backer type players. They push hard through to the out. We recover into the stick. They stay tucked in tight. We get our one-on-one on the outside. So not a huge fan of the footwork. I just think sometimes it makes you slow to take that big crossover drop. But still, like the decision, good throw. On the outside, boom, we're moving. All right. So what I love is that this isn't necessarily pure progression. Okay, a lot of people will run the pure progression play, which is the corner and the out. Then they bring a shallow, then they bring an in, and they bring everything over to this side. What I love here is that New England splits this into two different sides. So they're going to have what I call the influence post down here, the big in, and then the check hook right there. So if I get cover two, which I get here, I get the high low to the backside if I like it. Otherwise, I can peek down the middle, but more importantly, I'm going to get this high low over to this side against really any other coverage, even though you can read it against cover two. So he really has a pick of sides against the cover two. You see the rotation, boom, boom. I like that he comes back here. Okay, so he's coming back to this high-low. So he's really reading number 19 right here. This is what I call a body language type read. Okay, so I'm coming out and reading 19, and I'm reading the body language of 19. What's his body language say? His body language says, I'm going to open up. You see his numbers, right? So he's not flat to the line of scrimmage. So if his hips were turned and he was, we couldn't see his numbers, and he was flat to this line of scrimmage, then we think throw the corner over the top because he's got to spin all the way around if he's going to make a play on the corner. If his body language is this way, so he's opened up here, that means he's in a position to be able to go back and cover the corner, but it's going to be hard for him to cover the out once the out outflanks him. Okay, so when that out gets to that position of 19, he's either got to flip his hips and go even to the line of scrimmage, now we go over the top. Or he keeps his hips open like they are here, and we've got to take the underneath throw. So you see it, body language, right? You see what I'm talking about is how he's got the ability to keep going back and to play the deep corner route. This is the throw right here. He's looking at it. It's right in front of him, okay? These are the things he's got to clean up a little bit, is kind of seeing that and processing a little bit faster with his reads, yet does a nice job here of saying, I don't really like it. I don't really see it. Now he tucks it, makes a nice little play, picks up the first down. You see the athleticism that he can bring to the table as well as he learns to be more comfortable with his reads. Okay, like this one right here. Little play action, what I call shove. So it's a shallow and an over. And then you have some element here, which could be a post or could be a deep corner. So we're going to come out and read that deep defender to that side. Happens to be a corner here. See if we can get the deep one. We don't have the deep one. Now it becomes a flat defender read. So we're going to have a guy underneath him and a guy over the top. And then you watch. Great job here of setting the point and then sliding up in the pocket away from that pressure. So you see it right there. Great slide up. Right, eyes down the field. Now he really has his pick because this outside linebacker on the backside for some reason chases the back. So he leaves both these guys open, although we're thinking that second level throw first. Nice job right here, stepping up, avoiding the pressure, and making that big second level throw, that big arm of his to make the chunk throw. All right, so interesting concept here. Okay, so this is what I call hickey. So it's a hitch and a stick. That's where the hickey comes from. And then this is an inside go off of that, or an inside fade, we call it. Backside, it looks like they're running a quick in or a wrap and a hook there, okay? So first thing we're going to see is this safety right here. So as we run it back, right, it looks like it's probably going to be a middle close safety. You would expect him to go to the middle of the field here, and it's one-on-one, man-to-man across the board. But for whatever reason, this safety rolls down into that window. See him? He comes running down here almost as if he's playing the back man-to-man, although we've got a guy underneath playing a man-to-man. But they end up doubling that side. Great. It's quarterback. That's perfect. So now I'm going to read the front side. This is off because it's a locked hitch and we've got press. But I'd love to see him look at this inside fade first, because this guy's not running a stick over here. He's actually running a return. So if it was a stick, I'm okay with this guy's soft. Come out, take your stick right now, because that's the softest guy. Get the ball out of your hands. But because he's running a return, so he's coming out and then back in, we really don't throw this until he gets going back to the inside and hopefully undercuts this guy and runs back to the middle. So he's got plenty of time here. No protection issues in terms of extra guys coming. So come back, see the inside fade. See if you can get it. You might not get it, but you don't need to get right to this under right now, because it's going to take some time to get open. So right there, right? Okay, so we got this guy even. Maybe there's a shot. Okay, maybe there's a shot. I'm not really sure, but that's going to be the quicker throw, because you see the protection starts to break down. This guy is covered here anyways. Good coverage on the back end, but we got no safety back there. I'd love to see him come back, but you see how quickly he sets here, and he's looking at this the whole time. Doesn't really happen fast enough. Come back, peek at the inside fade, and then recover timing-wise to your return. Always important for quarterbacks to understand the timing of every element, so you understand, hey, I've got time to read the hitch inside fade outside and then naturally come back to the return, because the timing of those elements will work out perfectly instead of having to go right to the return right here. So I'd like to see him maybe give that inside fade a shot. It's starting to run away. Protection does break down right there, and didn't really have time to hold it until that under came under, even if he was going to, or that return came underneath if he was going to win. Okay, nice job right here. See it, hot situation. This guy coming off the edge is going to be a free hitter. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get the ball out quick. We got some quick throws on the outside. Pick your easy one-on-one corner off. Boom. We'll take it, get the ball out of our hands, beat the pressure. Nice job in a hot situation of beating the throw, knowing where your quick pressure answer is and getting it out. Okay, so we're back to that same shove concept. Now we're going to go post here. Shallow. Sorry. Shallow's coming from underneath. Shallow. Over. Same thing. We come back, and because it's a post, we're going to peek this free safety. He goes to the middle. We don't really like the post. So now, with that, find your flat defender. There's your flat defender on this side. Again, body language. See which way they're turned. This guy is even to the line of scrimmage, meaning he's going to have trouble covering anything back behind him. He's looking to drive anything that's in front of him. Perfect. Now let's get to the over the top of this. Nice job. Sliding a little bit, finding the deep throw and hitting it. So as you can see, a lot to like about Drake Maye. Okay, so here's basically similar play to what I was talking about, the hickey, inside fade, hitch, stick right here. So now this time it's not a return on the inside. So now we're going to read through this, but first element to me is always, is the corner off? If the corner's off, so he's in a position where A, you can get the hitch, but B, he's in a position to turn and possibly help cover this inside fade, especially if he's in zone. Come out right off the bat, take your hitch if it's there. Okay, corner jumps. Now maybe you have a shot over the top to the inside fade or recover into your stick. Okay, if corner falls off and this guy pushes out to the hitch. Now we're right back into the stick as well. So I like starting outside and then reading accordingly if that corner's off. So you see, corner kind of settles. So he might have a shot here or work to his stick if he wants, but because he's so definitive and understands, hey, corner's off, I'm coming out and getting the hitch. Like to see him again, a little quicker with the throw instead of the big drop. So he's got to lead him back down, but back does a nice job of making a guy miss and making a play off of this, even though could be, one of those where we don't gain nearly as many yards because we're throwing the ball a little bit late to the hitch. But I like the idea, right? The guy that made a living in New England for years was a guy that took the layups. Hey, if there's a guy open, I'm taking it, right? If this guy wants to play soft, I'm taking the hitch, I'm taking the hitch, I'm taking the hitch. I continue to take the hitch. I've seen that a couple times from Drake Maye, and I like that. Not getting impatient, not falling in love with the deep one. If something underneath is there, take it. Don't pass up an open receiver in hopes that somebody else gets open. All right, so they're just going to have a switch release here. Going to have a hook. He's going to push out and he's going to run a stop on the outside. Okay, so on this particular play, get back. I don't know why he didn't let it go. Like, let one of these go. You got to anticipate a little bit, but we've got a guy chasing him. He's going to hook to the inside. Nobody here can anticipate it and make the throw. We're pushing here. You see the defender running. Be ready to hit this and anticipate the stop on the outside. You see opportunities for both of those guys on time, right? Nobody's wide open. Don't get wide open very often in the NFL. You anticipate, you see the leverage, you let it go. But all things considered, he didn't like it, took a pump fake, but he found a completion. Again, something that you love. As he's learning and getting comfortable with his reads, you see right there, he pump fakes it. I'm not sure why, what he saw, but he's able to bring it down and find his outlet. Another great thing for a young quarterback is always know where your check down is. You don't like it down the field, get yourself some completions. He finds a way right there. He lost a shoe. He's pump faking, but still knows where his guy is, gets a completion, gets a first down. All right, not a fan of this concept, okay? So let me walk you through this. So this is what I call a pig concept, okay? P concept in my offense lets us know that the inside guy is doing something specific on that. That's why it's pig. A lot of people might call this dig or double dig because we got two digs coming. Okay, so double ends. And then oftentimes when I run this, I'm going to put a guy right there in the hook area. So we get this high-low right here with the big end on the outside and the hook. Okay, what New England does here is they put the inside guy on a pivot. So he starts inside and then he comes back outside. And so what coaches do when they run this concept is they say, oh, it's pretty much the same play because whether I'm putting a hook here or I'm running the pivot, they're coming back to the same place. I understand. I understand the thought process on that. But here's what I want you to see is what happens when I run a pivot is the read is off of this guy, right? We talked about the high-low, underneath, over the top. So the read is off that guy. So you have to ask yourself the question as a play designer, who am I trying to get the ball to? When I run this play, I'm trying to get the ball to this guy. I want that guy to be the guy that catches the football. So I'm doing everything I can to get this defender to jump up so I can throw the one over the top of him. When we run this with a pivot, we're basically saying the exact opposite. Because once this guy goes in here, what is this guy going to assume? He's going to assume he's running across the field. So when he's running across the field, I can drop and cover whatever's coming to the outside because I have nobody threatening me outside. So we're basically, in essence, when we run this play with a pivot, we're saying we're trying to throw the pivot. So you got to ask yourself that question as a coordinator or play designer is, have I changed this so the pivot is my primary? Because I'm going to expect the defender to fall off, and you're going to watch it here. Watch what happens. He goes inside. What's the defender do? The defender falls off, right? Because I have nothing threatening me to the flat, nothing threatening me with width, so I'm going to fall off, and he's going to fall right into the window for the big end, and yes, it's going to open up this pivot. So if you want to throw the pivot, no problem. Call this play. I don't want to throw the pivot. I want to throw the in. I want to throw the big one on this, so I'm not going to release that defender. If I run it back, here, right? And just envision, if this guy goes outside right now and forces this guy with width, what's that guy going to do? The guy's going to widen and clamp to him, which is going to open up this possible window for the in. Now, if he wants to drop off even with that, no problem. We still have the hook. We still have the same elements. It's just I'm trying to force his hand. I'm trying to get into his eye line, with my guy right now, okay? Because if, again, long explanation, but if this guy goes here and breaks out, whose job is it to cover him? It's this guy's job. So once we widen and go out there, now he's threatened in terms of what he's supposed to do, what his job is, role is in this defense, and he's got to cover all the way to the sideline. So I'm engaging that. I understand what his responsibilities are, and I'm attacking his responsibilities to try to get the big one over the top. But with the pivot, what do? We drop him off. And then here's the other element with the pivot. What do you notice? The pivot's coming out right here. This guy still holds leverage on him. We never got outside of him to A, pull him, or B, to win with leverage. So now if I'm throwing the pivot right now, this guy's got the opportunity to do what? See? He forces the pivot back inside anyways because he holds leverage. He holds off the in, and he does his job to the outside with not letting this guy get outside of him. So offensively, we lose from two different standpoints by running this particular play this way. Now, if we had a 3rd and short and we were really trying to hit the pivot just to get the first down, I get it. We don't have that right here. And so it's a question you have to ask yourself when you're building and designing plays is who am I trying to get the ball to? And does this particular type of route or changeup help us to get the ball to the person we want it to? But good decision by Drake Maye because the guy falls off. He's got to come underneath. He's doing everything that he's supposed to do. Just not a huge fan of the play design with what I would be trying to do. All right, here's the footwork again on the quicks. Okay, so he's crossing over and kind of taking, again, they're not lengthy, with his drop because you see it. He's trying to get him up and down quickly, but to me, I like to catch and turn. Catch and get set so you're ready to throw this on time. They're going to run double slants here, and this guy stays outside leverage because we're dropping into what we call one robber. There's a guy inside, so that means I can play man-to-man coverage from the outside if I'm that nickel defender. And so now it holds Drake Maye off a little bit. He's worried about that guy, right? See it? Worried about this guy because he's sitting outside. I get it. I understand what he's seeing. So one of two things. Either A, you quicken up your drop and you're ready to hit this one right now. If that guy stays outside, you got to beat the robber with the throw. So that ball's got to come out without taking these 2 steps. If you're going to throw the outside one, you got to be on time so the ball's coming out already. And we've got the ball in his hands on the break. But you see, what I always like to do on quicks is I always like to count the number of steps the receiver comes out of it before the ball gets there. So, right, let's go back. 1, 2, 3. At least 3 steps out of it before the ball gets there. And now the ball's behind because I know he's feeling this defender and feeling like he's got to put it on his back shoulder. All of this is about quick timing from the shotgun. Catch, get set, be ready to rip it. Or if you feel it, boom, falling back. It's kind of like a hot throw. Get the ball out of your hands to this inside guy because this guy's playing outside leverage. But it's got to happen quick, and that 2-step crossover drop makes it a little bit harder from the gun, in my opinion. Okay. All right, all about time. We're going to play action, and we're going to try to get the skinny post right here. If we don't have it, everybody clamps. We try to get this one up over the top. But off the play fake, I want you to watch. This is something that I saw in college. Watch the bounce by Drake at the top. See him bounce and bounce, bounce, okay? And it throws him off because look at the skinny post. Skinny post, there's a great window right here. He's got nice separation off of the press right here. Back foot in the ground, hold on it, and be ready to rip it right here. he's got that shot, but he's bouncing back there, not quite ready to throw it. Whereas if you're holding on the back foot, you are ready and anticipating this between the two linebackers. He's got that right here. Now he gets stuck because he's not quite ready, has to try to throw this over the top. And it becomes a really, really tough throw right there when I believe he's got the primary. Don't bounce, stick your foot in the ground right there and be ready to rip it and get a completion. Okay, so again, where he's got to grow a little bit and come to understand what's going on. So we're going to run what I call combo, slant, flat, okay, stick, flat, go over to this side, okay? So this combo up top, this slant, flat up top, is designed for when you have a middle close defense or a one high defense, okay? Washington gives him that look right away, right? It looks as if we're going to be in a one high. But then on the snap, what do? They run out of it to cover two, and we don't like this against cover two. Why? Because there's a linebacker whose responsibility is to be right there where the flat is, or where the slant is. There's a corner whose responsibility is to be right there where the flat is. So we have no window. We have nobody that we're isolating on this play and putting in conflict on this play because they've got guys sitting and waiting for both guys. So let's just run it and watch. See what I'm talking about? Right? This corner is in position to come off and take the flat. This guy's in position to take the slant. So we're swimming upstream by trying to jam it into one of these two guys and hope that we can beat the coverage with the throw. And you see it. Got to put it on the back shoulder. Got to try to get it between two guys. We're getting our guy blown up because there's a guy sitting there. Okay? Should be over there to the other side on this particular play. Okay? It's not my favorite play even to the other side against cover two because we've got similar type concept where this flat has a corner outside of it, but if that corner comes off really fast and they're trying to hold their rotation, there's a chance to hit that hole shot right there against cover two. So we put this guy in a bit of a conflict right now because this guy's late getting over there. But normally it's the stick throw that comes open against cover two. But you notice there's another guy sitting right here as well to be able to take away the stick. So a lot of teams are going to seam this inside to try to get an isolation on this Mike linebacker. If he voids, they'll turn it to the inside and kind of just hook inside and replace that Mike. If he holds down, then they break out and you've got to beat this outside linebacker with the throw. So again, not my favorite play across the board against cover two because what happens? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys underneath. So you're trying to run a quick game where you've got 4 guys, 5 guys underneath. They match us with numbers, so it's not my favorite play against cover two, but I definitely don't want to throw this slant into a sitting linebacker and throw this flat into a sitting corner. So I would want to be on the other side and try to at least exploit somebody, right? High-low right here, or maybe we get this guy to pull and we're trying to hit this quick little window right here, but much better in my opinion against cover two than trying to jam it in backside. Okay, so here, now this is the end of the first half. Okay, so we want to understand the context of the play as well. So it's like a minute left in the first half. So, you know, one thought process is always, hey, get a completion and try to get out of bounds so you get what you can and stop the clock. But I'm a guy that always likes to play the play. Play the play that's called no matter what the situation is. And if it dictates throwing it to the flat, then you'll throw it to the flat and he should be able to get out of bounds anyways because you're letting the play out. So this is what we call Poco. So it's a post, it's a corner, okay, that's the Poco, post corner, with a flat going here. Okay, so we get the right look. They're going to drop in again to this one high look right here. So this is exactly what we want. We want one high. We're expecting this post to clear out the corner because it's one high and he's got to be as deep as the deepest on his side of the field. So we expect that guy to clear out. Then we're going to get a high-low over here off of the flat defender or outside linebacker type player, okay? So we really got what we want right here, right? But what do you notice when you're watching this right here? Watch the corner. What do you notice? He's already driving on this flat right here. Why? Because Drake, instead of letting this play out, instead of taking the drop to say, hey, I'm going to look down the field, I'm going to look at the corner. That's the primary on this play. I'm going to look at the corner, see if I have it, and then if this outside linebacker wants to hang deep, I'll let this play out and I'll throw it to the flat late. But what he does is he shortens his drop, and you see why, right? He shortens his drop because this guy starts to drop deep, and it looks like this guy pops open right now. But in shortening his drop and getting the ball out quickly, he doesn't force this guy to cover deep. He doesn't force this guy to cover deep. He gets it out quick, and he allows this corner to play through it and see it. And what does this corner do? This corner ends up coming off and has a chance to tackle that guy inbounds, right? Because we shortened our drop and threw it too quick to the back, he has a chance to come down, cover it, tackle him inbounds, and put us in a bind right here. So anytime you have a play, quarterbacks, you want to try to let the timing play out the same way. So take your 7-step drop, so to speak, not 7 steps from the gun, but 7-step timing. Allow this guy to clear out the corner and this corner to go, oh man, he's looking downfield, I got to clear out. Allow this guy to make a decision, okay? If he wants to drop deep and cover the corner, great. All we've done is open up more space underneath to complete this. I'm going to throw this a little bit wider, more towards the sideline, so when I complete it, he's got a chance to turn and get outside, and nobody has a chance to get outside of him, and we're in a much better spot. But as soon as he reacts and throws the football, you see eyes attack, eyes attack, eyes attack, because we've shortened up this play. Tie your feet to the route, to the deepest route that you want to throw on that particular play. Allow the defenders to make the decision. They can come off of it quick. That gives us the corner over the top, which is what we want. Big shot down the field, get out of bounds, get a chunk play in 2 minutes, or allow them to drop. They're going to keep dropping. While you keep dropping, they're going to attack when you throw the football. So let them keep dropping and clear this out and open yourself up more for this flat, even if that's the throw and it doesn't put us in a position where they have the ability to come off and possibly tackle us in bounds, but a nice job by the back to avoid the corner and get out of bounds anyways. Okay, really like this one right here. Okay, so always talk about making the game as easy as possible, as quickly as possible. So there's a safety sitting over here to this side. If that safety stays and helps to this side, we're going to work our combination back to the front side. So their combination to the front side looks like it's some sort of a seam, stop right here, and then the back working here. So if the backside guy gets help from the safety, I'm going to read the front side, see what I have, and possibly just work out to this one-on-one here. But if they do what we call a push cover 4, okay, so cover 4 meaning this guy's got a deep fourth, this guy's got a deep fourth, this guy's got a deep fourth, this guy's got a deep fourth. So they're all playing a fourth of the field. But what they do here is they push their cover 4. And what that means is when a team has 3 receivers to the front side, a lot of times they will push this safety over here to help anything that's coming from the front side. So he becomes a cheat, but now it leaves our one-on-one backside. So great job by Drake here to see the safety, trying to hold his position, but then right there, he pushes and opens up this way, which means it's one-on-one back there. Make the game as easy as possible. They've got 6 guys over here to our 3 guys, right? So they're overloading everything from a conceptual standpoint left. Boom. Get back here, find your one-on-one, and hit it back there. Really, really well done. So in this game, we saw a lot of really good things from Drake Maye. Stepping up, making big throws down the field, good pocket presence, being able to read and understand what was in front of him. All things that I really like. Some things to clean up, knowing exactly where to go certain places, seeing that late rotation, being accurate with his throws, cleaning up his footwork in the pocket, which was something he had to work on out of college. But a lot of good things in this game, extensive playing time that has to excite you if you're a New England Patriots fan, knowing he may have to jump in there as a starter with the Jacoby Brissett injury. But a lot to like and a lot of big-time plays there that warrant him being picked so high in the draft.